I'm Ryan.
I'm Aaron.
And together, we are
Functionally literate.
And we're feeling a little weird this episode. You may have noticed, if you looked at the episode description, that we are covering chapters 45 to 55. And you might be wondering, what's that about? You guys usually only cover like 3 or 4 chapters an episode. What's going on? Well, here's what's going on, guys. Just all of the technical difficulties.
So many.
We were trying to get all of this shit recorded in January. It's April now. And
we tried to get all this shit recorded in March. It's April now.
We tried to get it all recorded in March, and nothing that we recorded. When we tried to do this in March, what happened was there was a setting, mono and stereo. The recorder was mono, which means only Aaron was picked up. Nothing I said was picked up, except for, like in the distance, you could hear me like far away talking to Aaron, which is just useless.
Now, Ryan's voice is lovely, and we don't want to cut him out. What that also means is it just sounded like I was talking to myself and responding to non-existent questions.
Yeah.
Which no one wants to hear.
No, it's just not good. And we've accepted defeat. We're not going to do 3 episodes. We're going to do 1 final episode, which works out because these last few chapters, it's really about 2 conflicts.
And so help me, Bob, if this one does not get recorded.
Oh, well. The one that never was. Serves me right for trying to share with the world a discussion that we had not yet finished. I broke my rule. And I'm never breaking my rule again.
What's your rule?
My rule is I don't release any episodes for any book that I haven't finished talking about.
Oh. Okay. Due to the nature of how we recorded this, though.
We wanted to get all of this recorded all at once over the course of 3 or 4 days. And that didn't happen. We got most of it recorded.
It was a very ambitious goal.
It was a very ambitious goal. And it didn't happen. And it's fine. We're finishing it out now. So this episode, we're going to just kind of talk about it. We're not breaking it up into chapters. We're going to just talk about the end of the book. And then we're going to talk about how we feel about the whole book.
And this might be a turning point for functionally literate. This could be a pattern. Who knows?
I don't understand.
I'm kind of joking.
Thank goodness.
Because it's outside of your normal, like, protocol.
Format. Yeah. So, chapter 45, the protesting got worse. And Bear was like, hey, this might be a problem. You might want to... It might have been kinder if you had dealt with this sooner. He's like, I don't know. Whatever. Chapter 46, that's how Harry and Laura prepared the ritual to save Thomas. That one, not a lot happened, but the dialogue was interesting.
Yeah, there's a 46 was... It's an important chapter. Because it touches on some things.
Harry threatened Laura for no reason.
Harry threatened Laura for what he thought was a good reason. Lara.
It's just I've noticed this in the recordings. I can talk about this now that we're not recording them all at once. You always say your wife's name.
Her name is Laura.
That's right.
And the character in this book is Lara or Lara.
You gotta get rid of that U.
Sorry, Laura. We're gonna get a little spicy with this. Laura, like Claudia.
Oh my gosh.
But I mean, Dresden thought he was threatening Lara for a good reason.
Yes. He wanted her and her court to stay away from her kid. His
kid, not her kid.
What did I say?
Her kid.
Okay, stay away from his kid. Because she brought Maggie up, and he's like, hey, since we're talking about her, you don't talk to her, ever. You don't get anywhere near her, ever. If you do, or any of your kind does, I'll kill all of you. She's like, you don't gotta be like that. And he's like, it needed to be said. And she was like, I feel like you're just nervous about how this is going to go. And so you're lashing out. And he, in his head, is like, I hate it when people say things that are true and accurate.
I mean, I'm just saying, maybe Maggie could use a supernatural stepmommy.
Nope.
Who knows?
No. I agree with Harry. I thought he was way out of pocket doing it and saying it the way that he did and when he did, but I totally agree with him. Those vamps need to stay the fuck away from that kid.
They have a mortal younger sister.
Doesn't matter.
And Maggie's going to get thrust into this whether she wants to or not.
She's not old enough.
How old was Harry?
He was 15 or 16. He was too young.
He might not be too young. We don't know.
We do know. So then they get all their stuff situated, and they draw a big old circle, and then they're taking a break, and then Harry is like, by the way, I never thanked you for saving me during the fight. She's like, oh yeah, I want to critique my form. I was trying to crush your skull in.
And Mab pops in and points out that Lara's very timely kick was the one that dislodged the Titan's eye.
It was the most useful thing that happened that night.
And, when you've got the Eye of Baelor out of the game, that kick turned the tide of the battle because the Eye of Baelor was not in the game.
Yeah. But also, what I thought was funny was the only reason Mab turned up was because Harry was just kind of quietly like, Mab, we're ready for you. At your soonest convenience.
He didn't summon her, he paged her.
He paged her.
I believe is the distinction they make.
Yeah, she stares at him and he's like, it's a summoning. But at the amount of power that I use, it's more like a page. And because nobody uses pagers anymore, Lara's like, Jesus, you really don't use technology. And he's like, yeah, no.
One thing I think is completely unfair throughout this entire series?
What?
You have all of these supernatural creatures. You have fae and vampires and fucking werewolves and all this other shit. And it's only the wizards that can't use technology.
For now. Maybe in like 100, 200 years that'll change and they'll have some other fucky thing.
Sure. It's a little dumb because, you get fae that can fucking talk on cell phones and throw around fireballs.
Their magic is different.
And the vampires can do all sorts of weird, freaky voodoo shit and still use the internet.
Their magic is different.
And Harry's over here taking cold showers and using wood stoves because, he has to live like a fucking caveman in order to sling around magic.
Not so much anymore.
Yeah, okay, he's got a fancy castle now, Ryan, but for the last 17 books.
Yeah.
He's lived like he was fucking homeless.
Accurate.
In a basement.
Yeah. Little basement gremlin.
Okay, so conflict number one.
Conflict number one. Saving Thomas from himself.
No, saving Thomas from the hunger.
So this chapter is how Harry initiated the ritual and how Thomas's hunger plunged Harry into empty night. So Mab is here to provide power, right? And she's content with the magic circle that Harry's made. She says it's adequate. He's like, it's perfect. And she's like, it's adequate. But that's good enough for, I suppose it's the same thing for your purposes. He double checks everything. He gets the thing going. And then she realizes, oh, I can't give you any power. I have to use all of my power to stretch time because your brother is like 2 seconds away from death. 2 steps from hell, if you will.
I don't, in this particular universe, I don't know where vampires go when they die, but I don't think it's Christian hell.
You don't?
No, I don't think the sex vampire is gonna go hang out with Lucifer down in Christian hell.
It says you. I don't know, man. I think maybe all vamps go to hell.
Now, I'm sure there's some evangelical listening to your podcast going, he's going to Christian hell. But I don't think that's where he's going.
If there are any evangelicals listening to this show, please comment. I would love to know why you're listening. I feel like I would have scared you off by now.
We like the sound of your voice, pretty boy.
So that sounds creepy.
Yep.
So he starts the ritual. He uses his third eye for this, which I was commenting on how proud I was of him for not using that thing, and now he's using it.
Okay, He can use it. It is
No.
it is a quintessential wizard's tool.
Tisk tisk. No. Bad.
He was only bad because he did one thing that was a little dumb.
What was that?
He looked at the Nagloshi.
That was a long time ago. I thought you meant now.
No.
Oh,
he
okay.
looked at the Nagloshi. So the thing about the site is it's an invaluable tool and it does so many different things. And for this particular instance, it was a very wise decision because he could see the individual strands of magic in order to disentangle them from Tomas. Yep.
So he gets the hunger out. And the hunger is huge.
It's a big old hunger.
Big, emaciated thing.
And I love it when the hunger squares up to him and it tries to act like terrifying. And Harry's he's battling with his metaphysical self, and he's like, "This is my playground now, bitch. Let's go."
So this is how we transition into from chapter 47 to 48 because it shows him what empty night looks like. This is always like an oath or a swear that like particularly white court vampires always use, and Harry for the first time comprehends what empty night is.
It's the absence of everything.
It's entropy.
And it's fucking stupid.
What do you mean?
These are hunger demons. They want to devour the essence of everything, and their goal is to wipe out the existence. They want to kill their own food supply.
And bring about empty night, yeah.
Yeah, no, they want to off their own food supply instead of steadily cultivating a race of humans that are completely devoted to them so they can continually eat forever. They want to off everything and then wither away and die. They're stupid.
Which Harry helps Thomas's hunger realize.
Yeah, and all it takes...
But not before Mab, what does she do again? She threatens Thomas.
Oh, she doesn't just threaten Thomas. She threatens Thomas, she threatens Justine, and she threatens their unborn baby.
Yeah, so...
with a knife.
So we have an audio recordist today, Clifton. So Clifton... Mab is the queen of air and darkness.
Are we turning Clifton's channel on?
No, we're not turning his channel on. We're just explaining it to him. Mab is the queen of air and darkness of the Winter Court of Fairies, right? Scary, scary woman. Harry made a deal with her and was like, here's the deal. I need you to save my brother, save his woman, save their unborn child, ensure that my brother can live a happy, healthy, long life. Also, I need you to deal with my Svartalf problem. See, the problem is, Thomas killed a Svartalf. And the Svartalfs don't like that. They don't like that. And they want revenge. They would like this issue to be resolved. Harry...
By Thomas dying. It's blood for blood.
Yeah. Harry was supposed to deal with this problem, and he didn't. Instead, he did an Uno reverse and was like, actually, Mab, this thing you've tasked me with, you do it. And I told you, Aaron, that I felt like this one thing that he was neglecting in this whole book, this is the one thing that was going to come back to bite him in the ass, and boy, did it.
He wasn't neglecting it. He didn't know what to fucking do because it's an impossible problem.
He's dealt with impossible problems so many times before.
This is more impossible than any other impossible problem that he has done, maybe besides the Titan.
He didn't even try.
I'm sure he thought about it off camera.
He talked to Etri once.
And Etri said, no, fuck you.
And then he didn't try again.
When the king of the Svartalfs says, no, fuck you, I'm pretty sure that's a very finite solution. There's no budging there. He said, no, fuck off, Harry. In like the nicest way possible because they were in public.
Right. And so, when it seems like Thomas is going to die because he kind of wants to die, Mab just out of nowhere summons Justine, and she looks terrible.
That's his girlfriend.
Yeah.
His pregnant girlfriend.
She looks terrible.
Justine's possessed by a primordial being of chaos that wants to destroy the world.
Like you do.
Yeah.
And so she just looks god-awful. Her hair is falling out. She looks oily.
It's not falling out. The Nemesis shaved her head.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, so to cover tracking spells.
And she's like, her face is gross. Like, she looks like she hasn't bathed in like weeks or something. It's just... It's not good. It's not
bats
good.
aren't important for primordial chaos beings.
Mab's like, hey, you better live or I'm going to kill everyone you love. It doesn't make sense.
Listen,
no.
evil Queen of the Wicked Fairies. It's a thing. This is...
So this is what gives Harry the kick in the butt that he needs to persuade Thomas's hunger. Maybe don't kill your host.
So my favorite quote about that entire exchange with Mab and everything is Harry looks at her and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing, Mab?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "Why, I'm being kind.
Yeah.
As you requested."
Yeah.
And
so then he summons the spirit of the island, Alfred Demonreach. And then Mab's like, "I have a bigger gun than you." And she summons her mommy, Mother Winter, who is the crone in all of the fairy tale stories, the one that, bakes children into pies and that.
The embodiment of, like, evil women, basically.
Evil crone women.
So Dresden Files, Clifton, for your benefit, follows the fake courts have a mother maiden crone. It's the trifold goddess, much like Hecate or Brigid or lots of other mythologies.
So Mab's like, "Mother is here now, and she'll kill you if you try and use the island against me." And he's like, "All right, fine, whatever, fuck this." And so he turns his attention to Thomas's hunger, and he's like, "Hey, what you're trying to do, what you were saying earlier, Aaron, what you're trying to do is real stupid, because what happens when you kill him? Empty night." Yeah, exactly. And then that means there's no more feeding. There's no more satiating hunger. You're just going to go back to the outside and you're just going to be stuck there forever. What a great idea. And so then he's like, yes, linear time. Linear time. Exactly. Linear time. If you keep Thomas alive, you can feed for as long as you keep Thomas alive. It's like, okay.
Would you think the thing, this outsider from beyond the realms of mortality, would have fucking realized that, because that's what he's been doing for its entire existence?
I think it has the emotional intelligence of a 3-year-old, though, if I'm being honest.
No, I want food now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's stupid. Like I said, because 3-year-olds are stupid. And I mean that, like, lovingly for anyone that has 3-year-olds and is listening to this podcast. They're stupid.
I'm sure they know.
We could call them uneducated or innocent, but they're just stupid.
Okay.
But it's our job to teach them and make them less stupid, which is what Harry's doing. He's educating the 3-year-old.
So he convinces the hunger, but he doesn't convince Thomas. Thomas is kind of ready to die, and Harry does a mind whammy thing and shows him all the brotherly love memories that he has.
And he sobs on his chest for 10 seconds while Lara's doing CPR.
Yeah. Yeah. And it worked!
Yeah, now he's back alive.
And then
Harry, the secret was the power of friendship all along.
And then Harry turns his attention to Mab and Mother Winter, and I loved Thomas's reaction, right? Because he's alive, he's good. I mean, he's not good, but he's conscious, and he's able to kind of move, and he's like, "Okay, all right, which one do you want? The pretty one or the one without teeth?"
This man who is barely conscious, has literally zero strength, has been slowly dying for the better part of like a year, is being can't even stand on his own. He's being supported by his sister, and he's like, "All right, bro, I got your back. I'm gonna help you in this fight."
And then his sister just drops him and is like, "Oops."
Because, like you do with your siblings.
Mm-hmm. And then this is where it gets weird, right? Because, I know now. Yeah, Clifton's like, "Oh, now it gets weird." So no, this is where it gets weird because of the dynamics of the thing, right? Mother Winter kind of does something that Mab didn't want her to do. Harry's like strutting his stuff, standing up to them, and Mother Winter's like, "Tell me, child, have you dreamed the dreams yet?" And he's like, "What are you fucking talking about?" And then she thumps him on the head, and it was the thump of all thumps.
So, typically speaking, Clifton, for your benefit,
I love that this is the dynamic that we're doing with this.
I'm digging this, honestly. So the three queens of winter, ranging from the lowliest to the highest,
the lady, and then Mab,
the lady, the queen, and the
mother.
The mother winter. They all have varying power dynamics, and the queen mothers, the eldest of the queens of winter, have power on such a scale that they're technically forbidden from interfering in mortal affairs because they could break reality. And she just punched him in the face.
She didn't punch him in the face. She thumped him on the forehead.
Sorry, she pork chopped him. and and when this reality breaking old woman pork chops you on the forehead, it probably didn't feel great.
He lost all sense of everything. Like, he had his senses, but he couldn't process his senses.
And then
Mab's like, Mother! I can't believe you would do that. Why'd you do that? And she's like, listen, when a thread on the loom feels strain, it breaks or it gets on with it. We can't just baby the one thread. The arrow of time is shooting. Time is short, and we either need to get him up to snuff for the great conflict that's coming, or we need someone better.
She said, shit or get off the pot, Harry.
Basically. And so the Mab, I love that. She's like, arise, my knight, arise, arise. She says it 3 times, and it fucking works. He's just like up and at him.
She summoned him. Yeah. This is the first time in the series that Harry has been summoned.
And it was really cool.
It was. It was kind of neat.
Yeah.
I think when we did our original recording, I commented on this because this is Mab, like, very much showing her like petulant teenage daughter, like, no, mommy, I love him. Because Mother Winter's all like, he's stupid, he's an idiot, you should get rid of him and get a new one.
This whole time, like, there's a few moments where Harry's like backsassing Mab, and Mother Winter's like, you're gonna put up with this from him? And Mab's like, I told you that I would. He gets the job done. I'm willing to suffer a little petulance if he gets the job done.
No, mommy, I love him. No.
And so he's standing up to her, and she's like, I have broken so many men. Do you really think you can stand up to me? Like, I am older than you can possibly imagine. I was around when the first rays of what's the quote? Like, she's like, I was there when the first light shone or something.
Do you have any idea what horrors I could summon, what pain I could bring forth? Think you that you have suffered agonies in one little battle, when over eons I have fought thousands upon thousands from unto the dawn of creation itself. And then Harry's like, oh yeah. Dawn of creation, huh? I got some of that shit. Boom, soul fire. An angel gave him that. It's kind of neat. It's literally the fires of creation.
It's special magic. So what happened, Clifton, is that Harry was possessed by a demon for a little while. No, sorry, a fallen angel that gave him hellfire. Very scary stuff. He tried to avoid using it. Once he shed that influence from him, that's when an angel gave him soul fire.
Mm-hmm. It was an archangel.
It was a whole thing. It was cool. He hasn't used it once this entire book.
And then he probably uses it in one of the most badass ways possible as an intimidation tactic.
Yeah.
Like, no way else. Just like, haha.
Yeah. And then she's like, sorry, Mother Winter is like, okay, maybe he'll do. Maybe he'll be fine. And then she just leaves. And so then this is when we turn our attention to Justine. Mab, it just starts fucking yelling at Justine, because she's not really yelling at Justine. She's yelling at Nemesis. And I love what she says. Like, and she says it in really flowery language. So you're gonna have to quote it, Aaron. She's like, you were once 13 and I made you 12, and now I'll do it again and you will be 11.
You're talking about the scene where she's trash talking Nemesis being like possessing 12 different bodies.
Yeah. So we debated about this. You felt like Nemesis could only possess one person, and I told you I was under the impression that Nemesis could definitely possess more than one person. And then we discover here, when Mab's talking to it, that it has like 13 versions of itself in our reality, and she killed one when she drove it out of the Linanchi.
Mm-hmm.
And now she has another one in Nemesis, in Justine, and she's going to make it 11. And I thought that was cool.
His real name isn't, I don't know, maybe that's his real name?
Its real name is He Who Walks Beside.
Because he's one of a trio of demons called the Walkers, and they're outsiders from beyond the outer gates.
They're trying to destroy all of reality. I think that might have come up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not that, like, most people know that. We only found out about that in book 14. And this is book 18.
It's a long-ass series. You should read it sometime. It's good.
Yeah, now that he's hearing about the end of the most recent book. Great time.
Clifton's like, I don't know if I have, like, the energy for 18 books. I got shit to do.
So, the thing I thought was devastating about all of this was what happens to Justine, right? Because Mab basically explains it as, once this baby's born, I gotta take her, and I gotta take her back to Arctis Tor.
And I have to torture the ever-loving fuck out of her.
To get Nemesis out of her. And Thomas is like, Harry, she's gonna torture Justine. And he's like, I know. Yeah, I know. And Mab tells him, once I'm done, I'm gonna make her forget about all of this. But the problem is, I have to make her forget about the baby too. Because if she remembers any of it, you can't allude to this by word or by deed in any way, because if you do, it'll be like ripping a scab off a really bad wound, and her mind will be torn asunder.
And let's be really honest, Justine's mind is already a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and she doesn't need to get any crazier.
It is. It's not great.
She got some mental health issues.
For some reason, an energy vampire feeding off of her is like her medicine.
Yeah, it's like giving meth to ADHD kids to make them normal.
Yeah. It's a little unconventional, but it works for her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Thomas is like fighting this, but what it comes down to is the baby is going to be raised by the Svartalfs. He took a life, and now he's giving a life. The baby's not going to die, but the baby won't be his.
And the baby will be protected and everything. And I believe, Ryan, in our original recording, I told you that this was the absolute best case scenario for all of this shit to work its way out.
You did, and you're right, and it doesn't mean I have to like it.
Oh, now you say I'm right. You fought me the first time.
Well, yeah, because I still think you're actually wrong. Like, yeah, it worked out pretty well, but Harry could have tried harder.
Oh, fuck you. You ever tried trying harder when you're, like, ragingly depressed?
I sure have. It's not easy.
Yeah, it wasn't easy. You see, so...
He did the best he could.
After being incredibly depressed.
That's right. He did the
best. And he hauled his depressed ass out to a depressing ass island to free his depressing ass brother.
Yeah.
From a depressing ass crystal in the ground.
Look, all I'm saying is that it was pretty fucking shocking to see the Queen of Air and Darkness actually steal a baby. Like, it's been talked about, and like that shit happens in fairy tales, but to actually see it happen was pretty nuts.
She didn't steal a baby.
Yeah,
the baby was given to her.
She stole that baby.
It was a gift.
A gift?
That was part of Harry's deal.
Yeah, it was part of Harry's deal. Thomas didn't consent to shit.
He was in a crystal.
He sure was.
He was dying.
He sure was.
And you know what? If he had done, I don't know, the normal person decision of talking to your fucking friends when shit goes wrong, instead of just, I don't know, killing a nobleman in the middle of a fucking embassy.
Yeah, it's pretty dumb. It was a dumb move.
Yeah, so this is, you know,
he felt
the consequences of my actions chasing me right now.
He felt he had no choice. Harry's been there.
Yeah, because Harry is also stupid. The stupid runs in this family.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for the point where Maggie's going to be the stupid.
Well, you know, she's going to be a young adult by the end of this series, I believe. So that could happen.
And maybe we'll have a spin-off series and we can see how dumb Maggie is.
But the thing that we're glossing over a little bit is Thomas swore to that baby that when he needs him, he will be there. And Harry noticed, and he was like, oh, there was power in that oath.
Yeah, because they got locked in.
I think this is gonna be this oath is gonna be something that's gonna get someone killed later.
Maybe Thomas.
Might even get Thomas killed, yeah.
Let's not hope that, though.
Nah. So then we get into chapter 51. In chapter 51, it's 2 weeks later. Thomas pays Harry a visit at his castle. Still crazy, he has a castle. And they're on the roof, and they're talking, and the talk doesn't go well because Thomas is mad. He's mad.
Back to his little emo pretty boy self.
That's right. He looks perfect. I don't know. I kind of see where Thomas is coming from, man. I kind of side with him on this. Like, Harry made choices for him that he had no business making.
That doesn't mean Thomas isn't being dumb here. I understand. I empathize. He's being stupid.
No, he's not. He lost his kid, and he has no idea when he's getting his girlfriend back.
Yeah, okay, so do you remember at the beginning of this episode when we were talking about the Harry and Lara's walk through the woods in Demon Reach, and Harry was projecting his anger?
Yeah.
Yeah, here we go. Thomas is doing it now. He's projecting his anger.
He's not projecting his anger. His anger is towards his brother, which is totally justified.
He's projecting.
Okay. Well, how so? What is he projecting?
Anger.
Okay. Is he supposed to be angry at himself here?
He's supposed to be angry at himself. He's supposed to be angry at the situation. He's supposed to be angry at the Smart Elves. And he's not supposed to be fucking angry at Harry, who did the absolute best he could to unfuck Thomas's fuck up. Thomas made a dumb mistake and Harry had to unfuck it.
Yeah.
And Thomas is mad at him for, I don't know, keeping everyone alive and in one piece.
Yeah.
He's like, oh my god, buddy, I'm so sorry that we're all fine. Fuck you.
But then we get a little, we take a beat and we get this little nice moment with Harry and his daughter. And they talk about
pancakes.
Yeah, Maggie was sad that her uncle just left because she made him pancakes and he didn't get to have the pancakes.
This is also why Thomas is being stupid.
Yeah.
He left that little girl hanging and pancakes sitting on the stove. That dumb fuck.
Wow.
You don't mess with children and pancakes.
But this little moment I thought was interesting because Harry kind of changes the subject and he's like, hey, how's Benia doing? So Benia, crazy thing.
Clifton, for your benefit.
So you know how Zeus gave birth to Athena, like from his head? Harry did that. He gave birth to an intellect spirit from his head. That fallen angel that I mentioned before had a mind baby with him. And he carried that mind baby to term over the course of, 5-6 years?
A while. And he was getting massive migraines and he didn't know why. It's because there was a fucking baby growing in his head. That brings a whole new definition to the term mindfuck, doesn't it?
But the thing is that Harry, so far, because this child has only been in existence, this is the third book since it's been born, and he doesn't do a very good job of treating this being as though it's his child. He really doesn't. And even here, he doesn't do a very good job of that because she's not in this scene, but he asks Maggie, he's like, hey, how's Benia doing? And Maggie's like, she's like the smartest person I know and the dumbest person I know. And then she's like, that's kind of mean, isn't it?
So she fits into the family real well.
Mm-hmm. But this whole conversation that he has with Maggie about Bonnie really feels like Jim Butcher's way of talking about ChatGPT.
Well, both Bob and Benia are essentially AI chatbots, which makes even more sense when you figure out that Bob's addicted to porn.
How does that make sense?
Because he's one of those AI chatbots that can do not safe for work content, and Benia's like the one, like ChatGPT, that still has the limiters on it.
I see. And then so from there, someone comes up, I don't remember who, gives Harry a letter and is like, hey, I got this for you. And it's from Dracul. the father of Dracula. And Harry...
He's also a vampire.
Yeah. And so Harry's like, oh, I hope this doesn't have magic anthrax in it. And he, like, uses his magic senses to determine that it doesn't. He opens it. It's a simple little letter that says, "It is my sincere hope that you enjoy your evening." And so Harry reads that, and he comes to the conclusion, fuck, I'm going to get attacked any second now.
He's like, I'm being threatened.
So
by yet another person in Harry's life who can kick his ass, 6 ways to Sunday, because Dracul is incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
And what is the first thing that Harry does? Smart off to him.
Yeah.
Because what do you do with people who can break reality?
Smart off to them.
You talk back to them.
He does that every time. Every time. Hasn't got him killed yet, but it will. And so the next chapter is basically Harry preparing for the battle.
And we're getting into conflict number 2.
Yeah, we're getting into conflict number 2. And so then after he prepares for the battle, the next chapter is him confronting the people that are going to attack him. Because there have been protesters hanging out outside his castle for a while now. And now the protests have gotten pretty big. And he uses his wizard sight.
Oh, again. And not only are there protesters, they're counter-protesters.
Yeah, which is kind of worse because that just like the protesters and the counter-protesters are button heads. And so Harry uses his sight again to just look at all the protesters, and he sees White Court vampires, but different White Court vampires, a different house. What was it? House Scavis or something?
I thought it was Malvora.
The Fear ones.
Isn't that Malvora?
Sure. And he's like, oh shit. They're feeding on the protesters and amping up their feelings. This is going to just blow up any second now. And so then he does something cool, which is he uses his magic castle to make... He says to Bob, he's like, Osme! Just becomes a giant floating head, and I love that. And he's like, all right, you jerks. I tried to be nice. I offered you hot chocolate, and you have been outside my home for too long. I'm tired of this. And then he just chucks lightning bolts at them and just a torrential downpour. Scares the shit out of them. Everybody runs away, except for the vampires.
Yep.
And then they have a big fuck-off fight.
Okay, but we glossed over one thing.
What did we gloss over?
So not only is it House Malvora,
yeah,
but they're being led by...
Lord Wraith.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because Lord Wraith, who had up until this book we thought had been rendered an impotent puppet.
Clifton, that's Thomas's daddy.
It's his brother's dad and also Harry's fiance's dad.
They're half siblings. So he's not related to his fiance. That makes it okay. Did I mention that he doesn't want to be engaged to his fiance and he's being made to because of Mab?
No, but it'd be a really cool insult the next time Thomas gets pissy. He's like, I'm fucking your sister. And he's like, oh.
God. That would be brutal.
Yeah, like that's a great comeback for any situation.
It's just like, oh yeah? Well, I fucked your sister. Anyway. So yeah, the next few chapters are about this big fight where Harry and his allies, because he manages to get most of his allies very quickly. The Knights of the Cross just happen to conveniently be nearby.
Because that's what they do.
They just happen to be nearby when they're most needed there.
And let's see, the Knights of the Cross, let's refresh our memories for Clifton's sake.
Yeah.
Butters, the Jewish Jedi.
Yes. Sonya, the Black Russian.
Who's atheist.
Who
carries a holy sword gifted to him by an archangel, but he doesn't believe in God.
And then there isn't a third one currently.
No, because Michael retired.
No, but we got to explain this too. We're not explaining it properly. The Knights of the Cross. So do you know Jesus, right? So you know how Jesus was like hung on a cross with like 3 nails? So each of those nails was made the core of a sword. And those swords are very special swords that are given to people that are basically doing God's work.
Yeah, and there's an angel bound to them.
Yeah.
Like inside it, it's a whole ass angel.
They hypothesize this.
But it's pretty well confirmed.
Sure, okay, if you say so. But yeah, so they just kind of happen to turn up whenever they're needed. And so they kind of happen to be needed right now. They just happen to be about a mile away. And then, let's see, the little folk were helping him, and Carlos of the White Council was helping him. That's the White Council is a bunch of hoity-toity wizards. And
it's the governing body of all wizards. Harry used to be a member, but then they said, fuck you, and they kicked him out. And then they tried to govern him anyway, and he said, no, fuck you.
Ostensibly because he killed people, but there was a war going on, so...
Everyone was killing people.
Yeah.
So he may have committed war crimes, but it's fine.
Yeah. And so there's a bunch of fighting. The fighting was really cool, but the coolest thing was when he dropped an entire floor on a bunch of ghouls in his house.
You mean a door?
No, an entire floor. He dropped the ceiling, the floor above him, on a bunch of ghouls.
No, it was just a door.
It was not just a door.
I don't think he dropped the floor of his castle. Those things are magically enchanted.
Yeah. And he dropped the whole fucking thing, and then it took about 20 minutes for all of the bricks to get put back, and Bob assisted with that.
I don't remember this.
You don't remember this. I remember this because it was badass.
You know what else is badass?
What?
Fitz.
Yeah, so Fitz is Harry's apprentice. Brand new apprentice. Got him this book. And he killed a few, like he chucked a few fireballs. He got tuckered out pretty quick.
He's new.
And Harry didn't blame him. Like, Fitz was like, oh, I'm sorry, Harry. I did my best. And he's like, yeah, you did do your best. And you did a good job.
He was doing the Carlos move of, shooting from the hip.
Yeah. Is there anything else in particular about this fight that you want to mention?
That's really kind of everything.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it is. It's a great fight, and we get to see Harry actually do some shit instead of wallow in his depression.
And we get to see him utilize the magic of his castle. So
I feel like this entire book mirrored. Did you watch Kenobi?
I watched some of it.
The Disney Plus series.
I watched some of it.
Yeah, this book. This is just the Harry version of the Kenobi series, because they both start off, really weak and depressed, and they both get into a fight somewhere in the middle, and it goes very poorly for them because they've lost their mojo. And then by the very end, they get their mojo back and they kick someone's ass in a fight, and it's great.
Yeah.
Yep. It's the same story. It's literally the same thing.
Totally the same thing. Sure.
And Harry, as he's, been wont to do many times, is Obi-Wan Kenobi in this instance.
Yeah. And so when the fighting's all done and they're working on cleanup, they debrief, which I thought was interesting because not all of these people, even though they're all Harry's allies, have actually necessarily spoken to each other. And so introductions are made, and then they're talking about damages and fatalities, and like the only real fatality was one of the gargoyles. I think it was the smallest one. I think it was Cinnamon. Got just all busted up. And the other gargoyles are like, we can fix this. We just need to get some more stone. And Harry's like, okay, at nightfall, go do that. There's plenty of broken down buildings around. Go fix them up. And they're talking about it, and it becomes pretty clear, like, oh, wait, is that it? That's the only losses that we've had? We lost a gargoyle that's going to get fixed up? Amazing. And they're like, okay, but Harry's like, okay, but let's not forget that if we hadn't been tipped off, we would have been fucked. So let's not pat ourselves on the back. We need to do better. We need to be better about this. And Laura, his fiance, is kind of like, so how did this happen? And Harry's like, it was a white court problem. And they share a look for a few seconds. And then Laura's like, oh. Harry's like, yeah. And Laura's like, I'm going to go talk to him about that.
She's like, I'm going to go have a conversation with my dad.
I think that means that she's going to rape him again.
Sorry. Our sound guy's face. There's Clifton's face. It was just...
I'm telling you, man, it's not good. It's not good.
Lara is the de facto leader of the White Court after she ousted her dad. By I believe it was psychically raping him into submission.
I believe there was some physicality to that too, because that's how White Court vampires do.
Yeah. So, and they thought that ever since that original incident that he was quelled, and now he's getting uppity again. So she got to go fuck him into submission again.
They don't say that, but that is what's going to happen. Because we know how White Court vampires operate.
You know, explaining this to Clifton really makes me realize how fucking weird this series is.
Yeah! It is.
I love it so much. It's such a great series. It's fucking weird.
But let's talk about the ending, because I really loved the ending.
Oh, we did gloss over the fact that Mavra was there and got away again.
Yeah, okay, so the reason why all of this even happened, right? So Lord Wraith orchestrated Black Court vampires, White Court vampires. There's 3 courts of vampires. There used to be 4, but now there's 3.
No, there's still 4. The Jade is still around.
No, there used to be 4, and now there's 3, because the Red Court is now no more.
Sorry, you're correct. The Red Court... Shut up, Clifton.
Clifton just gestured at Aaron like, yeah, jeez.
Ryan is right in this one.
So the Black Court vampires, White Court vampires, and ghouls were there, and this was all orchestrated by Lord Wraith. But Dracul sent his lackeys there. They speculate, Butters suggested this, speculated that they were sent there literally to be killed off. Because now Dracul has new lackeys, and he likes to keep things trim and tight.
I don't know. I thought it was kind of weird.
What was weird?
That whole bit where he's like, oh, yeah, I wanted to clean out the useless shit in my organization. I'm like, the Black Court is the smallest of the courts, probably because Dracul keeps doing dumb shit like this.
Is it dumb, though? Like, they're very, very powerful vampires. It's probably good to not have too many of them around.
I mean, there were once too many of them around, and then Bram Stoker did something about it.
Oh, yeah, right. So the Black Court vampires are the closest analog to, like, traditional vampires. And in the series, Bram Stoker's book, it was basically like a how-to guide to kill vampires. And so...
Kill Black Court vampires.
Right, and so most of those vamps aren't around anymore. But Dracul is actually okay with that, because he's like, the ones that are left are the strongest ones. Anyways, let's talk about the way this book ends, right? So we get an epilogue that kind of just glosses over a month or two. Because Mab got what she wanted, she consented to delaying the wedding to till midwinter. Is that right?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. And then the anniversary of the Battle of Chicago comes, and Harry's a goddamn mess all morning, and then he just kind of gets on with it. You know, he does the routine that he's been doing. He feels better. He's up on the roof again. He's up there with his buddy Michael and his dog and his daughter, and they're all like doing their thing. And he's sitting with Fitz trying to teach him how to make a pocket full of sunshine, a hanky of sunshine. So this is a weird spell. Basically, you wrap up inside a hanky a happy memory. And when you just kind of flip the hanky, it's a flash of sunlight. It's a really effective tool against vampires.
Harry calls it the pocket full of sunshine.
Yeah. The problem is, Harry hasn't actually been able to make one of these in a very, very, very long time.
Because he's always depressed.
Yeah.
Because people in his life keep dying.
Yeah. And so he's teaching his apprentice how to make one of these. His apprentice is fucking it up. And he's like, keep doing it. Try again. And his apprentice is like, all right, well, if it's so fucking easy, why don't you do it? And Harry pauses, and it's like, this is not a fucking easy spell. You can't fake happiness. And he takes a breath, and he thinks about all of the things in his life that make him happy, and he has a little tear. And then he does it. And then he poofs the pocket full of sunshine. It's a flashbulb, and then he hands the hanky over to Fitz, and he's like, "Okay, now you do it." And
one of the quote that Harry gives after he folds the happiness into the cloth is I thought was pretty neat.
I agree.
Is happiness is peace in action, and peace is happiness at rest, and neither one has to be perfect to be real.
Yeah, I thought that was really touching. Mm-hmm. I like that. And and it stuck with me. That's one of the few quotes in the book that has stuck with me, because he spent 12 months fucking figuring out how to be a person again.
Yeah, it was a little too real for me.
Yeah. And then
I've been there.
And then the book ends in the best way with Thomas forgiving him.
And Thomas gets out of the car, and Thomas comes back, and he's not being a dipshit anymore, and it's great.
So Harry, throughout the series, drives what he calls the Blue Beetle. It's a Volkswagen Beetle. It's not blue. It's multicolored because he's a wizard and he gets in a lot of scrapes and his car gets fucked up all the time. And so his mechanic, Mike, who we are convinced is
a wizard
in his own right when it comes to cars, always manages to get that thing working again.
Until the Blue Beetle was picked up and crumpled into a tiny little ball by some vampires.
In book 12.
Yeah, like almost 10 books ago.
And so for about 5-6 years now, he has not had his car. He's had to drive what he has dubbed the Munstermobile.
It's a hearse with flames on it.
Yeah. And so at the end of this book, powder blue Beetle, Thomas just gets out of the car and he's down on the ground floor, Harry's on the roof, and he's like, "Hey, I was gonna give you this for your birthday last year, but
stuff."
And so, that was nice. It was, like, I really appreciated that they didn't wait until the next book for them to like make up. I'm really glad that it only took like a month or two for Thomas to get over himself.
Me too.
Yeah. So, we're at the end. Traditionally, we talk about what we thought of the whole book at the end.
Okay. 18 books in this series.
Yeah.
The last time they had a book like this
was Ghost Story.
Book 13. And I hated Ghost Story.
You sure did.
I still am not a fan.
I'm really hoping you're going to come around to that. I think when we're just sitting down with our friends and we're talking about it on the podcast, I think you'll come around.
So, but here's the thing. I loved 12 Months.
Yeah.
I loved everything about this book. There was not a single part of it that I didn't like.
So let's compare and contrast, because you keep comparing the two. And I think it's because these are the two most experimental of the series.
I wouldn't even say experimental. They're the turning point books.
Okay.
Because, changes happened, and then Harry had to have a recovery period.
Yeah.
And then
Battleground happened.
And Peace Talks. Peace Talk, Battleground happened.
They're two parts of one book.
It is. Yeah. So Battleground happened, and he had to have a recovery period. I'm okay with that.
You're okay with this book?
Yeah.
You like this book?
I love this book.
Where would you rank this book?
I think it's up there with one of my favorites, actually.
Which is?
My favorite of the series is Turncoat.
Yeah.
Followed very closely by Deadbeat. Probably followed very, very closely by like Skin Game. I fucking loved Skin Game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And but 12 Months is up there. It's in my top 5.
It's number 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really enjoyed this one. It kind of got me emotional a few times when I was reading it, because it talks about some really heavy stuff about loss and about like recovering from loss. Well, recovering's the wrong word, but like coping. Carrying on after loss and what that looks like, and how like good examples of that and bad examples of that.
So I told you that this book hit a little close to home for me, right?
Yeah.
So several years ago, my wife lost a baby.
Yeah.
And so she had a miscarriage, and it was a terrible time in our house.
Yeah.
And the year after that, I don't remember much of.
Mm.
Because it was basically just us, like, surviving.
Yeah.
And so, like, part of me was really empathetic of the place where Harry was and just trying to cling to what was and dreading what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because, fuck, I've been there and it's terrible.
Yeah.
It literally, it's awful.
Yeah.
And the fact that this comes to such a really neat, happy resolution, it gave me life. Like, it brought me so much joy to see all that wrapped up for him in the end.
One of the key things, when he's making the pocket of sunshine, he says, pain is a fire, and 12 months isn't long enough to heal from life's most severe burns. But if you're willing to work at it, it's enough time to make a damned good start. And then that's when he gets into the pocket of sunshine scene.
No, I loved this book. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I can't express enough how excited I am to figure out where the hell Butcher's going to go from this.
So, book 19, Clifton, is going to be Mirror, Mirror, which is a story that people have been waiting for years. I think a decade at this point.
At least.
Because Butcher, I think he shares maybe a little bit more than he should. He shares just enough that people are like, ooh, I kind of know what's going to happen, but they don't really know what's going to happen.
No, because no matter what we think is going to happen, he just goes, ha-ha, playing potato. And
we know kind of what Mirror, Mirror is going to be about. From what I've gathered, it's going to be an alternate timeline thing where he encounters an evil version of himself. But we have no idea how exactly that's going to go. We do know that he's writing it right now, and so most likely we're going to get to read it next year, which is very exciting.
Last I heard, it was 30% done.
Cool. That's very good. That means most likely we will get to read it next year, which is very exciting.
Mm-hmm. Damn you, Jim Butcher. Damn you for making me feel things.
For those of you that have been following along with us, thank you. I hope this was a good episode. This was a weird episode. We really just wanted to finish this. Clifton has shared a message with me, which is, I think it sounds crazy as fuck.
It's easier if you start at book 1.
It is. It is. That's small-time magic murder stuff.
Yeah, this whole series starts out as him being a wizard and a private detective. And it evolves into this.
He hasn't done the private detective thing in a while.
No.
He did a smidge of that in this book.
No, not this book. The companion book that came out, the novella.
He did, yeah, but that's...
The Law.
Yeah, all right, sure, I guess.
And Outlaw's coming out next month.
Uh-huh.
The sequel.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, because the Outlaw, the novella, it's going to be a trilogy.
What's the third one going to be?
Oh, they announced the name. And the final entry will be titled Lawman.
Lawman. Is Harry the Lawman?
I mean, I guess.
Probably.
And you'll be happy to know that unlike The Law, which was narrated by Jim himself.
Which was a mistake. I love the guy, but no.
Marsters is coming to do Outlaw.
Is he going to do The Law?
I don't know if they're remaking The Law.
They need to.
You don't like Jim Butcher's John Wayne impersonation through the entire book?
Buddy, I'll be honest with you. I didn't even bother getting the audiobook.
I love it. Because in the author's head, Harry's supposed to sound a little like John Wayne. And so he's like, how you doing there, Pilgrim? Like, it's very like that.
No.
The whole ass book. And I fucking love it.
Veto. New choice.
I'm excited for this.
Yeah. No, that'll be fun. That'll be fun. Thank you all for listening. If you are interested in more Dresden Files, Aaron and I are reading the beginning of the series with friends that have never read the series or that read the first few books a long time ago and kind of forgot about all of it. We've got one friend that has no idea about anything, and we've got one friend that's read through book 4, and it's all...
Book 3.
All book 4, and it's all kind of just a blur... And just like, I don't know.
She didn't read book 4.
Yes, she did.
She didn't finish book 4.
She read part of it. There's characters from that book that she knows about.
Sort of. From the very beginning.
Yeah.
I'm aware because I've talked to Caitlin about this. I got her into it.
Well, there you go then.
Clifton, you should join.
We've already got 4 people, man. Anyways, if you want to listen to us keep talking about the Dresden Files, those episodes will be coming out next year.
Woo!
We're going to start with Stormfront next year. Those episodes are already recorded, but we've got other stuff in the backlog that comes first.
Finishing Full Moon, wrapping up recording on that soon.
Yeah.
And then we'll start
Grave Peril.
We'll start Grave Peril with a slight cast change here in a few weeks.
Yeah. Not that you're going to hear any of that anytime soon.
No, but it's going to be cool, and I'm excited.
Yeah. After this has been a weekly series, except for a smidge of a gap because depression is very real and I just had no motivation. We're going back to a bi-weekly schedule because this was a test to see how I did, and I did not great, and we're going to go back to bi-weekly, which is much more manageable.
You're doing great, Ryan.
Thanks.
We appreciate
that.
You.
And so now we're going to really appreciate me because I'm going to give myself less work.
Yep.
Less work on a hobby is good.
Play more video games.
I've been playing Slay the Spire 2.
I know.
I love that game. It's
I
the
know.
best game. You should get that game. Clifton, you should get that game too. He's shaking his head. What? He doesn't like cards. Damn.
Don't think of it as cards. Think of it as attacks that fluctuate slightly.
Anyway, thank you all for listening. Thank you to Vidwest Studios for letting us use your space and your equipment. Thank you to Josh Hughes, our one and only patron who funds this venture. He pays for the membership. We wouldn't be here without him. Thank you to Jake Weller. He's the guy that made our music. And thank me. Thank me. Thank me.
No, I'm good.
Thank me.
Bow before me, peasant. Ryan, thank you.
For what?
I don't fucking know. You told me to thank you. No, I'm kidding. No, this has been a lot of fun. And as crazy as this whole experience has been with 12 months, it's been a blast to just discuss it with you.
We're never gonna do this.
We're
never gonna do it again. But if we do Mirror Mirror, it's gonna be one episode after we read the book.
Maybe two.
What, you want to read half the book and then do an episode on it?
No, maybe we read the whole last book and talk about it in 2 episodes, because there's a lot. I don't know. It could be a lot.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Point being, that's more manageable than, 15 fucking episodes?
Anyway, there's definitely some music that's drowning out our voices and telling us to go away, so we have to go now.
Bye.